Hey everybody, and welcome to the 2021 Lemons Rally season wrap-up. I am Eric Rude. That is Jeff Stobbs, who runs the rallies. And Jeff, of course, is a former Lemons Rally winner who has now graduated to staff.
Before we start on the wrap-up, let's remember what the Lemons Rally is. It's a long-distance scavenger hunt combined with a flash mob and crappy cars. It's not a race, it's just a bunch of dumb challenges.
So what kinds of dumb challenges do we do? Well, there is dress like a cowboy in Texas.
You could reenact a legal scene from the movie Sideways in California.
What? No, wait, don't open that. That's a 2021 Martinelli's. They're extremely rare. I'm saving that.
Okay, first you gotta look at the color. You see how it, no, you gotta pay attention. You see how it changes? That tells you it's good Gatorade.
Drink a little. I ain't drinking a little. I am not drinking any Merlot.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
And when we were in Scranton, we had people make paper.
Today on Lemons Rally, we are making paper.
We also had a challenge where you found Tech Inspector David Watkins as a cardboard cutout in Camden, South Carolina.
Now, as we are cramming an entire year's worth into one video, there's a lot to unpack here, so we're only going to kind of skim the surface. However, if you want to know more about the Lemons Rally, you can go to Instagram and look up hashtag Lemons Rally. Everybody's exploits are public on there, so you can see where people go and what kinds of crap they drive. That's pretty hell sweet, and if you want to join, you can go to the Lemons website and sign up.
First rally to start off 2021 was the Texas Rattletrap tours in March. We went through from Austin through Texas Hill Country into West Texas, where there was lots of nothing. We had some cool checkpoints like Marfa and Alpine, Dr. Brinkley's Goat Testicle Solutions, the Chaparral Car Collection at the Permian Basin Museum, which was just a overt propaganda to the oil companies.
The real secret is not only a great source of energy, but also the freedom to make it work for everybody.
So while we were at the Maverick Inn, one of the teams who shall not be named pointed out that I should look over my shoulder. And upon turning around, I saw a couple probably in their mid-70s just really going to pound town on each other. They closed the curtains, but not all the way, and the curtain weighed about 3.5 pounds. You gotta realize she only weighs 9. And he was just in the superhero pose. He was filling it up with the condensed milk. He had just eaten the underwear so much that something called a super colon. If you have bad eyesight, you gotta pre-plan having sex with your windows open.
Now, aside from all that, Butt Terrible was journalist's timeliness. Our friend Mental Ward, who you may remember from Lemons Wrap-Ups. Now, Mental agreed to help us with registration and managed to show up a cool 90 minutes late. That was butt terrible. And then automotive journalist Steph Schrader showed up an entire 2 days late to a 3-day rally, so that was also butt terrible.
Hella sweet was a Willys wagon with a modern drivetrain and a cool serape blanket interior.
All right, let's get right to the winners. The winners of this rally were Why Are We Doing This and their Dodge D350, big diesel truck, Super Duty, 4 adult human beings crammed in this thing, uncomfortable, top speed like 45 miles an hour. This rally had like 500-mile days because it's West Texas. That's just how much distance there is. Very well done, guys. You managed to get to the end without killing each other.
Second, just got a Cadillac Coupe de Ville, perfectly Texas down to the pistol grip door handles.
Third went to Bad Penny Racing and their Lincoln Town Car. This is, of course, Ed White, who did 3 races and 3 rallies this year, and this was the closest rally to where he lives in North Carolina. Ed, little dedicated. We love Ed. Very well done.
Organizer's Choice, Duff Beer Racing in their Geo Metro convertible. Utter misery driving across Texas in a car that can't go fast enough to keep up, and the top didn't really go up.
In Lemons Racing, we have the Index of Affluency, which kind of goes to the crappiest car that does the best. In Lemons Rally, we have the Random Acts of Stupidity, where acts of stupidity are kind of what Lemons Rally is all about. In this case, it went to Team X90's kids in their Suzuki X90. They were funny, brother and sister team, dressed up super 90s, doing dumb things the entire time. Very well done, very stupid, taking a Suzuki X90 kind of anywhere. Really bad cars.
Judge's choice went to Mullet Motorsports. Big, gigantic family crammed into a Suburban that only had 2 doors and seats that didn't move. And they also had a backup diesel Volvo, which also didn't work very well.
Next up was the Pacific North Rex Rally in the Pacific Northwest, leaving out of Tacoma and going to Portland. So we went out to the Olympic Peninsula and came back through Tacoma for the Concours de Lemons at Griot's Garage. That was hella sweet, before going out to Walla Walla and Portland. Now, among the many great things on this rally was my favorite checkpoint I've come across in a while, which was the bar in Portland that is famous for the dumpster behind it in the 1990s being a place where Tanya Harding dumped evidence in her court case. It eventually was found. We sent people there. That was super great. One of the great obscure checkpoints in Lemons Rally history.
But terrible. It's the most attrition we've ever seen. Finally broke a bunch of cars. Full 1/3 of the field dropped out before the end of the rally.
Among those dead cars was Greg Arrudia's American Fibercraft Aquila. I don't know what the hell this thing was. It was weird. It was super, just very Volkswagen kit car. It kind of disappeared. They might still be out there. I have no idea.
Also hella sweet, the Chupacabra DeSoto. They've run a couple rallies with us. Always a crowd favorite.
Another favorite on this rally that didn't quite make it was Mark and Ginger Garf and their 1978 Toyota Hilux. This thing was super old and crappy, and as it turns out, crappy enough to die. But we'll see them again this year, we think. Now, the winner of the Pacific North Rex Rally was our friend Mike Harrell and his Dutch Carriage team. Now, he's been threatening to bring this car for years on a rally, and it is a Volvo 66, which is better known in Europe as a DAF. This is a car with one of the first CVTs ever built and put into production, and as they tend to do, it snapped one of the drive belts on the CVT. He was stranded. Luckily, this route had made a loop, so he was close to home, and he went and he grabbed his other car, which is also the worst car on the rally, his Austin Allegro, a right-hand drive. Who the hell would import this thing from England, Mobile? And he finished the rally in that and won it. Very well done, Mike Harrell.
Third place, and also winner of Random Acts of Stupidity, was Team Space Shuttle with Aaron and Leslie Brooks and their children. They're racers whose Land Rover blew up also on the rally, and then they went and got their brand new truck to finish the rally up. They did add some stickers to keep with the Space Shuttle theme, but this ride was much, much nicer than the Land Rover.
Second place went to Team Phil Plug and their Jeep J-Series flatbed truck. This thing was kind of hoopty, but it's kind of the kind of pickup truck you see in the Pacific Northwest. But crucially, they went and did the one checkpoint that added like 6 hours to your day, scored a whole bunch of points, and it put them in second place. Gotta read the route book, gotta make your choices, and even if they're bad, you might end up in a good place at the end of the day.
Organizer's choice went to Team Hex Rents and Paul Grusenberger and his 1965 Ford Galaxy.
No, it was his Chevy Cavalier this time, I think?
Checking the entry list. This time it says Volvo V90.
He's got so many cars, it's hard to keep him straight.
Like 47.
Yeah.
Okay, he won something.
Judge's choice went to Catch 122 and their Ford Mustang. We saw these guys again later on the Hell on Wheels rally, and they are super duper cool. And this Mustang, kind of nice, but also really cool in its own way.
I lost my top, went to Best Worst Vet in his Corvette that lost its top on the highway, which was made of carbon fiber and very expensive, and run over by everyone behind him on the highway.
He was not too thrilled about the trophy as a makeup kind of deal, but you know, he lost his top.
He just left it on the highway. Got to make sure those latches are latched.
Now, after that was the Rust Belt Ramble in July, and this was one of the biggest rallies we've ever had. Kind of the best thing that happened was we ended up at the Detroit Bus Company for an optional tour with our friend Andy Diderossi. He took us to AMC headquarters that is about to be bulldozed, so we got to see that before it goes away and, you know, hit some rubble with golf clubs in the way that you can only understand or comprehend if you're from Detroit. And we also got to see the velodrome where he used to put on mini bike races. But the best part of it all was that Andy dragged everybody down to GM headquarters and organized a protest of GM to bring back Saturn. You would think this was just some weird stunt, you know, some bunch of dumb people on the street, but Fox Detroit showed up, filmed the segment, didn't really seem to quite grasp everything that was happening, but they aired it anyway.
Yeah, people from all over the country gathered together demanding that General Motors bring back the Saturn brand. Here's Fox 2's Sarah Nash.
My mom had a Saturn. I want my kids to have a Saturn. Yeah. Right? Yeah!
How many people here still have a Saturn? Just this guy. If you drove by the Ren Center in downtown Detroit, you may have noticed a rare group of people rallying to bring the Saturn back. We want Saturn! We want Saturn!
Speaking of Saturn, there was a Saturn rover that was completely devoid of body panels. That was hella sweet.
Hella sweet, Log Dog's Mustang 2 with the classic tennis ad.
There was a Cadillac Alante with homemade T-tops.
Pikes Peak Escudont PT Cruiser from Lemons Racing. They cooked inside that thing for the whole rally.
We had our oldest Lemons rally car of all time, which was a 1937 Buick with the original straight 8. It maybe didn't make it through the end of one day, but it was hella sweet and is also now tied for the oldest Lemons race car, which is also a 37 Buick.
Most Extreme Challenger, the 1980 Challenger / Lancer captive import. Guy LaDouche had us play a game where we used cards that we scanned, and then it said things we couldn't understand, and then you won a box of candy.
But hey, let's have some fun. Let's go! Question, who thinks man is systematically choking and destroying Mother Earth?
There was a 1960 Chevy, which is a really, really cool looking car. And, you know, usually when somebody brings one of these, it's a couple of boomers. Hella sweet about the resto frauds is it's a couple of teenage kids driving a straight 6 manual 1960 Chevy. That was super hella sweet. Still working through hella sweets, there was our first Ford Granada, and we still haven't had one in Lemons Racing, so be sure to bring that. But the worst order was doing a Star Warsy First Order Stormtrooper thing. That was hella sweet.
Also hella sweet was Trace Ombre's 68 Tempest that had been spec'd by Sewing Circle with a OHC 6 dog dishes, and it was super clean.
One last hella sweet was the Eagle Scouts in their Corvair Greenbrier, which is the van version of the Corvair. They were curious about why their Corvair had not won an award, and as it turns out, Eagle Scouts just way too prepared for Lemons.
Winner on points, Green Stripe Racing in their Bremen Mini Mark VW kit car loophole, running an auto stick, terrible car, terrible transmission, albeit the nicest one like it.
Runners-up was Team Punchraff, a Lemons Rally regular. Now, they've taken a Mazda pickup and they had converted it into a bus using conduit, and, you know, I'm not really sure their methods. They're kind of crazy, but they managed to finish rallies. It had previously been the Dr. Teeth bus from the Muppets, and this time around it was kind of a general transit van. After the rally, they somehow found somebody to buy this thing. That's hella sweet.
Third place on points is Danger Is My Middle Name. They brought a Triumph Spitfire and ran an Austin Powers theme. It was a last-minute entry and one of my favorites on the rally as a little British car lover.
Random Acts of Stupidity was one of 2 full-size fire trucks, and we had had none before this, so this embarrassment of riches reiterated this is one of the best rallies we've ever had. And it went to the Dorf Motor Company in their 1960-something Ford fire truck. The thing about fire trucks, they built them the exact same way for about 40 years. So, you know, 1948, 1984, kind of the same thing. Now, these guys from Rochester did the smart thing, the cheap thing, and they slept in the truck. And when we say slept in the truck, we don't mean in the cab. We mean they took the water tank out, they put 2 cots in, and they just slept under the open air in the middle of the truck every night. Absolutely insane. Love these guys. They are totally dedicated to this.
Our safety actually first award went to Bad Decisions Light and their Howe fire truck. It was an open air fire truck that had 2 3-cylinder engines mushed together to make an inline 6. Somehow Howe truck company never produced any manuals or documentation, so Randy from Bad Decisions figured out how to put this thing together without any manuals. And just to clarify on what safety actually first means is that Albert did the research for the rally to make sure that he met the weight limits for all of the bridges during the rally so the Howe fire truck didn't end up in a culvert.
The Lemons TARDIS Award went to Lemons Little Yikes and their Smart for Two. And if you don't know what a TARDIS is, it's from Doctor Who. It's basically a spaceship that looks real tiny, and then on the inside it's huge. And that kind of applies to a smart car. They seem like they're completely awful for a Lemons rally, and they are, but they're kind of livable. The best part is they painted their Smart like a cozy coupe, which is great, but they also added a luggage rack with a cozy coupe on it, and they took it to the Little Tykes factory for some photo ops. Better still, at the AMC headquarters that was full of rubble and all kinds of terrible things, they found another cozy coupe and they ratchet strapped it on there. Found like 4 more of them during the rally. Somehow took them all home, and now they are apparently cozy coupe collectors, because why not?
The Are We There Yet award goes to the Foxy wagon, the Ford Fairmont wagon with the 2.3 liter swap. You might remember this team from the Polar Vortex retreat from Moscow, where they had an infant with them. This infant is now a kid and came on this rally also.
And lastly, organizer's choice went to the Togas and their 1958 Chrysler Saratoga. Now, in and of itself, a 1958 Chrysler is just absolutely spectacular for Lemons. It's got the huge fins on it. It's a gigantic car. It's got some kind of big loping V8. But what was really great about this crappy one was that their fuel pump kind of, wasn't working quite right. So they rigged up a whole system that involved electric fuel pumps back by the tank, but rather than do the routing underneath, they wanted it where they could reach it, so they just ran the fuel lines over the roof, totally exposed to the elements and potentially dropping fuel onto them. That was a little sketchy, but in such a great car with such a great atmosphere about it, couldn't do any better than that. We moved on to the Hell on Wheels California rally after that in November. This year we left out of San Luis Obispo, and shout out to George at Central Coast Brewing for hosting us and letting us do registration there. That was hella sweet of them. From there we went through both Los Angeles and San Diego, putting people through metropolitan areas, which we tend to avoid, but we wanted to make this one hard. And then we sent people way out into nowhere, including maybe some National Park Service land that we didn't mean to end up on. So sorry about that, NPS. We'll do better next time.
Yeah, so of course we had our challenges. We sent them out to the middle of nowhere in Amboy, where we might have done some drag racing on an abandoned airstrip, and then just continued into the complete nothingness of Boulder City, Nevada, which is a lot nicer than you'd think.
Hella sweet are the guys from Vans from Japan. They import all of the weird Japanese, mini vans that were never brought here. And on this one, they brought a 1996 Toyota Hi-Ace Super Custom Living Saloon EX. And don't forget the EX.
Hella sweet was Jim's Forbes bringing the most normal rally car he's ever had. It had no problems. It wasn't a Tempest that was squeezed into a triangle. It wasn't a hearse from the 40s. It wasn't a Corvair. It wasn't anything else terrible that he's brought.
Hella sweet was a 1980 Chrysler Cordoba with a slant 6. Now, if you're a math person, you probably understand that is a car with about 88 horsepower and 3,700 pounds of weight.
But terrible was a rally favorite, the Highway Patrol Hillbillies. They blew up their car before they could leave, but fortunately they blew up near their house, so they towed it back home, grabbed their incredibly nice Ford, stuck the crappy car in the back of the trailer, and finished the rally up that way.
One more hella sweet was Silly Hat's only Mercedes 200D, a sweet fintail Merc. Now, they would have finished in the top 3 in points, but they were running just a little bit too late. Again, Mercedes diesel isn't really going anywhere in a hurry, but it is instituting a new rule that we will have going forward of must be present to win at the ceremony.
Winner on points is Rover Soul and their Rover P6, which was absolutely craptacular. Just so you know, it's still for sale. If you check their Instagram, I think it's up for $2,000.
Second place went to Sorry for Party Rallying and their Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Now, maybe a nice car in a lot of people's eyes. An old Rolls-Royce, still kind of like driving a carriage. Now, this is a couple. You may know Dean from Sorry for Party Racing. He decided to take his wife, Jacqueline, and go renew their vows at the place where they got married in Vegas during the rally. We thought that was hella sweet, worth some extra points, but also, you know, taking a Rolls Royce, worth a bunch of points too.
Third place, Safety Third Racing. You may know them from the Lemons races out west. The Kim Jong Elantra. It's a rally and a Lemons race car. During the rally, they took it to the Hyundai test track and promoted our glorious leader all throughout the West Coast.
Organizer's choice went to Big and Little Enos Burdette, of course a Smokey and the Bandit reference, and their 1975 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. The convertible top was long since rotted off, and maybe it was overheating the entire time, and maybe they grabbed a garden sprayer and were figuring out how to pump water into the radiator from the passenger compartment, and maybe a whole lot of things, but really all you need to know is it's a giant Cadillac done up like Enos Burdette's.
Say he ain't gonna go for your game.
Son, from what I've heard, the biggest thing about the Bandit is his ego.
We'll pick it up from there with Random Access to Stupidity and Rude Boy Rabbit. Initially, they were going to bring a VW Rabbit and drive it out from New Mexico, but that exploded, so they flew to the Northwest, bought the Z24 convertible that ran in last year's Hell on Wheels, and drove that down from the Northwest, finished up the California rally while doing stupid stuff all over California.
And we gave out a regional trophy to what called themselves Dirty NA and a lifted Mazda Miata with a Jackson Performance Supercharger. It was kind of really terrible and crappy, and therefore we called the award Jackson Performance Disavows All Knowledge of This Car.
And we wrapped up 2021 with our traditional retreat from Moscow, which was delayed from January. But the next one will be January of 2023. You can count on that.
I'm always very cautious about jumping the gun and saying, well, we have turned the corner.
Like most of the Retreat from Moscow rallies, this one was also pretty big and therefore packed full of hella sweet stuff. First among those is Phyllis and Corey and their Princess Vespa-themed Mercedes minivan. That was hella sweet.
Hella sweet was Big Al's VCR repair, mammography, mobile x-ray service, and mechanic service. These guys have run a rally before, and they brought yet another creepy van.
The Decades 1946 Chevy truck was pretty spectacular. It's kind of a mishmash of Chevy S10, C10, some Camaro stuff, basically all of the Chevy things thrown together, and it's all underneath the shell of a 1946 Chevy pickup that was on Cheryl's grandfather's property. Doesn't know where it came from, but it was there, belonged to her grandfather in some capacity. That's a super cool story.
Also bringing the hella sweet was the Etowah Warriors and their Pontiac Star Chief. By the end of the rally, they figured out that it's better to fix your car in the parking lot on AutoZone than drive it around on a trailer.
The Ford Junkyard Refugees emailed us ahead of time and said, hey, we've got this really cool AMC Marlin that we want to bring. Turned out to be a little too crappy to bring yet, but we hope we'll see it. They brought a Ford flatbed truck with Santa in the bed. They dressed as Santa. It was great.
The Rusty's Nova, they've run with a couple times before. They've also taken this car on Drag Week. It is hella sweet. Team Deadbird and their Pontiac Sunbird was also hella sweet. They drove out from Virginia, and then they did the ferry route at 3 in the morning somehow. I don't think that they slept the entire rally. They give credit to Monster Energy Drink for this.
T1ers brought an El Camino Chevy Cobalt.
Undead Revival Yacht Club, they were hella sweet. They wore a suit the entire time and drove what is one of my personal favorite cars, a Lincoln Continental.
Winner on points was Team Punch Raff, and we've mentioned them before in this wrap-up, but really they kind of outdid themselves here. They built a minivan, which is a mini with a van grafted on it absolutely flawlessly. Just totally perfect bodywork. No flaws whatsoever.
In second place, making a horrible decision, was Team Krusty Crepe in their Peugeot 505 diesel. They had driven 0 miles prior to the rally and probably would have won the rally if they stuck to some kind of theme other than being from South Carolina.
Third place went to Mom Always Liked Me Best. They have previously brought something like a Ford Econoline or some 1960s forward control van and a Chrysler Sebring, so they wanted to branch out one further weird brand to AMC with an Eagle wagon. It was hella sweet. They did so much great stuff in this. They drove through a canal that was apparently navigable. That was crazy. So well done, Mom Always Liked Me Best.
Random Access Stupidity went to one of our favorite cars, the French Dispatch, in their Peugeot 505 gas-powered engine. At the end of the rally, they sold this car to Andy DiDeRossi from Detroit Bus Company. We talked about him on the Rust Belt Rally for a whopping $200, and Andy is currently enjoying his new daily driver.
We gave out a special trophy to I Like Big Buses and I Cannot Lie. This is James Maskey, who we've seen before with a manual Dodge Caravan. He decided he needed to go a little bit bigger and found a full-size school bus with a 5-speed. Brought his wife and his dogs along. Kinda spectacular. You want a trophy, bring something gigantic like a fire truck or a bus. You'll spend $2,000 in gas, but man, you'll have a good time.
The next award went to the Skooks in their 1994 Lincoln Town Car. They won the Wash Out the Sand award because mid-rally they decided to fill their car up with sand and make me a treasure map to find hidden treasure underneath the sand of their floorboards.
Organizer's choice went to Press the Button Max, which is of course a reference from The Great Race. These are two brothers. They were in character the whole time. And when we say the whole time, we mean from the moment they left home until the moment they returned home. They were doing the whole bit. After the rally, they came to us the next day at the Lemons race where it ended. They were still in character. They went and played a round of golf in character. This is how you win trophies in Lemons if you're not breaking a bus.
The next award is the Blue Dart Award. If you don't know what a Blue Dart Award is, I suggest you Google it in incognito mode. Team Lawn Dart brought their Dodge Dart. I didn't see them the entire race because apparently they party until 3 in the morning and don't leave the hotel until noon.
Our final trophy for the year went to Beef It's What's for Winners, and we call it the Beef Squatch Award because one of the team members was dressed as Beef Squatch from Bob's Burgers. That was just really great bit. We like good bits. Bits get trophies. All right, I think that's going to do it for us for the 2021 Lemons Rally. We have 6 rallies coming up next year, and of course one for 2023 that we talked about. The first one is March 4th through 6th. It's the Southern Fried Heaps Rally.
April 21st to April 24th, the Brocky Mountain Breakdown.
July 15th to 17th, the Rust Belt Ramble again.
August 5th through 7th, we're back in California for Hell's on Wheels.
September 30th to October 2nd, we are bringing back the Fall Foliage Tour.
And November 8th through November 12th, the Great River Road Lemons Rally from New Orleans to St. Paul.
And of course, January 2023, we'll have the Retreat from Moscow again.
You think you need to bring a crappy car to participate in our rallies? You're wrong. You can bring any car you want.
Also new for next year, we have a rental car class. You can rent a car and come on a Lemons Rally and score points with a whole other subclass of Lemons rallying. So get yourself signed up and we will see you on the road during a Lemons Rally.
Here's Lemons Rally in a nutshell.
If we go like the wrong speed, then it counts as more.
Well, it doesn't hit if we're going fast.
Going up a hill. It's fine. It's fine. I don't like it.
Well, I ended the day one of the rally. Minion Kevin, Rally Master Jeff, Log Dog Motorsports gave us a gift of red hot Polish sausage, pickled in vinegar brine and artificially colored. It looks horrible. There's things floating in it. The first ingredient is beef heart, and we're gonna eat one for Log Dog Motorsports for some reason, because it's a gift. It smells absolutely awful. It looks like just regular hot dogs. It doesn't feel right either. And then whatever is happening in that. All right, there's one for you. I'm really glad they're smaller than they looked. Oh, I got a long one. I'm just gonna take a bite. Oh, here you go. That's not good.